And the first thing that we read here in verse 16, he starts off and he says this, do not let anyone judge you by what you eat or drink. And you see, what's going on in the church at Colossae is there are people who are judging people based on if you drink this, then you're not in. If you eat this, you're not in. And so you're not a real Christian if you do these drinking or eating kinds of things. It's really, don't settle for Jesus plus deprivation. Because all of these kinds of things that they were telling people to do is hey, abstain from this drink, abstain from this kind of food. And it's okay to abstain from certain drinks. Some people have kind of in a conscious way made that decision, and it's okay to abstain from certain foods. I mean, a lot of people today are on vegetarian diets or gluten-free diets or even worse than that, and so that's okay if that's where you are. But see, a lot of times when people abstain from certain drink, abstain from certain food, they begin to look down their nose at people who don't do that. And they kind of have some spiritual pride. I'm a little bit better than you. I'm a little bit kind of more spiritual. I kind of have the Christian thing. And if you understood Christianity, you would do this too. And certainly our bodies are a temple of the Holy Spirit, and we need to take care of our bodies, right? But there's a difference in taking care of our bodies and choosing things about eating and drinking and then judging others for it as well. And so what he's basically saying here is, hey, it's no more godly to eat something that is super duper healthy like raw vegetables than it is to eat a chocolate cake. There's nothing more godly about the things that go into your body than another. And this actually is something that he even addresses in verse 22 of Colossians 2. And he says, these rules, which are about things that will definitely come to a place of perishing through use, he says, these rules are of human commands and teachings rather than on Christ. And so he says about those things, he says, listen, these things are destined to perish with use. In other words, they go into the body and they come out of the body, and you are done with them. And so what is the big deal about that? The soul, more than the things that go into your body, are the big deal. Now, I want to show you kind of the root of this issue, and it's over in Romans chapter 13. And the verses will come up on the screen here, but there was a big deal about eating and drinking that came up in Rome, in the church at Rome. And what happened was there were some people, Romans 13:2 says this, there were some people that are the people like this. One person's faith allows them to eat everything. That is vegetables, meat, even meat sacrificed to idols in their day and age. Anything I can eat over here. And there's another, because of their weak faith, that they only eat vegetables. These are vegetarians. I'm not going to eat that meat sacrificed to idols. I'm not going to eat those other things over there. I'm going to be limited in what I eat. And he goes on and he says, and the one who eats everything should not hold in contempt the one that does not. And the one that does not eat everything should not judge the one who does eat everything. Because why? God has accepted them all. And you see, Romans talks about the weak conscience and the strong conscience. People with a strong conscience can do anything in the world that is not biblically clear, because biblical truth is like the guardrails. But what about the stuff in the middle? What about when things aren't clear? What about the gray areas? What about your specific situation and how you're going to handle your life when it's not biblically clear what to do? And so somebody with a strong conscience, man, they can go to certain movies, or they can go to certain bars or clubs or establishments, or they can drink certain things like alcohol, and they have a strong conscience, and it doesn't bother them at all. It doesn't adversely affect them spiritually. It doesn't derail them. They have a strong conscience. Somebody over here who has a weak conscience can do those same things, movies, places they go, certain behaviors, whatever, and man, it really bothers their conscience. And that conscience is a weak conscience, which means I can't do that because God lets me know that's not okay for me to do, but you could do the same thing, and it's not a big deal to you because it's gray. It's not clear biblically.